Hey there, welcome back to Chaotic Corp. I'm your host, Jordan.
Joined by his co-host Tristan, and we had just watched episode 11, the second to last episode of the Clone Wars, just moments before, and
One
it
more
it
episode.
is an emotional, and I'm so glad the way they ended the episode. And just to remind the viewers, the idea of the show is for you to watch the Clone Wars and then listen to this podcast. It's kind of like the format of the Talking Dead, except we're not really affiliated with Disney or the Clone Wars whatsoever. We're just
Right.
two giant nerds who like study Star Wars. Um, but basically the format's like the Talking Dead. You watch the show, then you watch the after show. This isn't an official after show, but that's the idea. So anyway, the way they ended the thing, if I had to wait a whole other week to see what was gonna happen, I would have been so pissed. But fortunately, it's gonna
Same.
be it's gonna be on Disney Plus May 4th, along with the Rise of
Which is
Skywalker. And apparently, I don't
such a
remember
good
when.
idea.
I don't remember when, but The Force Awakens is already on Disney Plus. As before, last time I checked, before yesterday, was that The Force Awakens was like you can only play the trailer. You know, saying, "Oh, it's coming sometime."
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
because
I didn't.
like
I actually
Netflix
didn't know that.
still. I think you're the one who told me that. Like Netflix still had it on their thing, and they were just kind of like waiting for the deal to run out or something like that, and then
Yeah,
they finally put
yeah,
the
it was the
full
full.
movie on Disney Plus. So as of May the
Yeah.
4th, the entire Skywalker saga will be on there, and the rest of the Clone Wars will be on there.
Oh, that's what you meant when you said that. I was like,
Oh, you didn't know
I
what I
thought you
meant
meant like
earlier?
the.
I thought I explained it
Yeah,
after
I
you
didn't know what you
didn't.
meant. I was kind of dead brained after what we had just like watched, honestly.
Oh, right, right. Yeah, we watched like 3 hours worth of anime, and then we were done. This was last night, of course. But anyway,
No, it was this morning. What are you talking about?
well, I mean,
What was
technically
it?
last night because we both went to sleep
4 in the morning.
afterwards at some point.
Yeah.
Like, I went to sleep like 11 o'clock. like,
Right.
but anyway, so we watched. And that's 11 in the morning. My sleep schedule's horrible, but whose isn't under quarantine? Wait, we
Yeah, man,
the
night
end to
shift's pretty
this.
easy.
Yeah, night shift's pretty easy. It's fine. Um, so what did you think of? I'm skipping to the ending here, so I'll go back to the very beginning. So we start off, Maul's captured, and they have him in that thing, which you said. I don't know if you like thought that it was it, or you just said what if, but you thought it was like carbonite.
Yeah, I thought that was like they were pulling a
Empire
Han
Strikes
Solo.
Back, but remember Empire Strikes Back. That thing was only experimental. They didn't know if like Han was going to be alive. You know that
That's
that that
true.
type of that type
That's
of
true.
thing. That type of thing was experimental in the days of Empire Strikes Back, and that's years
Well,
from
also
right now.
you're forgetting they also did that in season 6 of the Clone Wars, or maybe it
Yeah,
was
that was
season
weird.
season 5. Yeah, it was season 5, I believe. We had to look this up when Echo got like blown up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember because they snuck into the Citadel with that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. We were trying to figure out where he died or where he supposedly died.
Well, all I
I
do
remember
remember.
on
Oh
one of
yeah,
our
yeah.
podcast
Honestly,
episodes.
that's another thing I wanted to comment on was that was an arc that was not finished, and I feel like when Disney was like, "Hey, we want to do, sign another like season of the Clone Wars," Dave Filoni was like, "Yeah, I got something in mind." So you just kind of wanted to like close the doors on that arc, before anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
return
totally get what you
Echo,
mean.
because like Echo, like that entire thing had like little to anything to do with the final arc. Because like the second arc where like Ahsoka was with Tracer and Rafa, that had to do with Ahsoka's character development, which plays into this final arc. So that had to do with it.
Right.
But I guess like Rex's character arc, but that doesn't really matter all too much. The only thing that matters with Rex here is his friendship with Ahsoka. So
Right.
like this whole narrative from the second and last arc could have been, could have coexisted outside of the first arc. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the first arc shouldn't have happened. I'm just saying the first arc had like almost little to nothing to do with the end game here. And
Right.
I did enjoy the story though, and I did enjoy
Oh
like
no, I
thinking
definitely did too.
that like I was on the edge of my seat. Like, is this guy like a sleeper cell? Like, what's going on here? You know?
I had a feeling that we weren't gonna see the end of him. Um, I don't know. That's just the vibe that I got off of when they ended that arc. Um,
Yeah,
but now that I'm thinking, maybe it was a good thing that they ended it there. But I still can't help think maybe we're gonna see them. You know,
maybe.
especially how do you? Here's a big question. How do you think?
Well,
How do you
there.
think him being experimented on by them when he got captured, him getting experimented on and all that. How do you think that would have affected his
Inhibitor
inhibitor
chip.
chip? Do you think that would have? Yeah, do you
It
think that
could
would have
have.
affected it? Affected it?
It could have infected it, and honestly, the other people, because I've seen the inhibitor chip. It's like a bio thing. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
like a, it's not like a metal
it's
chip
not
in
an
there.
actual chip, right?
It's like it looks like a little like tissue of muscle, you know.
Yeah,
And
how they
so
made that.
his inhibitor chip could have been destroyed or defected in the process of him being tortured and probed. And you also have to think, and the reason why I brought up like how the inhibitor chip looks so like, bio whatever, is that even the entire Bad Batch, maybe their inhibitor chips, if they have them, are probably defective as well because each one of them is mutated.
Right,
It they could have
right.
different reactions to the inhibitor chips. So
Yeah, I didn't think about
the
that.
entire Bad Batch, I don't know if we'll see more of them, but there's a chance that they didn't carry out Order 66.
Honestly,
But
I feel like if we don't see them in any other movie or even Rebels, then I don't think they're around. Maybe they did turn, and I don't know. I really don't know what to think about that whole situation.
perhaps, well, either way, like it's
Maybe
water under the
maybe there's a
bridge for
book.
right now.
Maybe
Well,
there's a book. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe there is one. Um,
The EU is huge, dude. Maybe.
exactly. And Dave Filoni, I don't think Dave Filoni is near done with Star Wars. The man's a genius
Think they're
for
gonna make
one.
another season
No, I don't think they're gonna make another season. But like, you know how like, yeah, we
or
thought Ahsoka's
Mandalorian?
story was done. Like after that scene
Yeah.
with like Vader and all that in Rebels, we thought Ahsoka was done, and all of a sudden, oh, Ahsoka's gonna be in the second season of The Mandalorian. I'm like, okay. So once
Yeah.
we think things are done, Dave Filoni's just like, nah, they're not done yet. Um,
Nah.
he's like, because we thought that like, oh, we saw Order 66 in episode 3. Okay, that was cool. Then we saw it in the Fallen Order. I'm like, okay, all right, maybe that's it. And Clone Wars was like, yeah, we're bringing it back again. And it's like, oh, here we go again. It's like the third time
Right.
around. Which honestly, like, it's the build up to it and the ominous music in the beginning of that episode, which you pointed out the music at first. Like I noticed it, but you pointed it out before I did. It's just it's so creepy, and it like if you're the audience that
It
knows
really sets the mood.
what's about to happen, you're like on the edge of your
Right.
seat. But honestly, it was so much worse. Honestly, like I felt at first like it was anticlimactic once he said execute Order 66. I'm like, okay, that happened really fast. Yeah, I mean,
I
because
I was thinking the exact same thing, but when I saw him,
crying.
when I saw when I saw Rex, I was gonna get to that in a minute, but when I saw Rex the other clone had come up to him and said, "There's a status report,"
Oh
and
yeah.
he went up, and I said, "Oh no, it's about to happen." And then you hear Ahsoka having like visions, like hearing the whole thing carry out.
Yeah, that
And
that
I
honestly
think
happened
Maul
really
said he
fast
heard it.
too.
It did, and Maul said he heard it too. So I was like, crap. And then you go to the next scene, and you just see his like mouth, like verbalizing the words "execute Order 66." I said, "Holy crap! It happened. I can't believe it happened." But yeah,
It
it was a
happened
little
all so
anticlimactic, but
fast. And it
it
did it
did. But
did
I was still
feel
like psyched to see it.
anticlimactic. I was psyched to see it too. But it felt like when he said execute order 66, I was like, okay, that's weird. Cuz I kind of always pictured it like happening right in front of Ahsoka, like the actual
Yeah,
thing. That's only because like I was expecting them to do the same thing as they did in the Fallen Order, where they're like Cal is being trained, and then he's talking to his master after like being trained, and then you already see before that he has like a good relationship with the clones, and then his master starts like having these visions and starts getting in pain, and then right behind him you see in the background that the troopers getting the order to execute Order 66. And I kind
right.
of felt like that's what I was expecting out of the situation. But I'm not completely disappointed in the entire thing altogether. Once Insidious said execute Order 66, that's when Rex complied, and then as soon as Ahsoka came in, he started shaking, and then he told the other troopers to stand down, that he would do it, and then he was telling her to find him. Who was
Find
him?
fives. He said find CT 555.
He did.
Find fives. He kept yeah. He said it like he might have not said CT 555, but he definitely said find fives like at least like twice. And I did see tears, and I was like, oh no,
Yeah, he
I'm
started
about to
crying, dude.
cry.
I started
But
crying too, bro. I had to mute my mic, but
oh man,
but it was just so like I don't care about the other clone troopers. They're just clones. But like Rex had an established character, and
right,
he had such a good friendship with Ahsoka, and that's another thing that like really like hit home with the Fallen Order, was when like Cal like high fived the clone, and they're like, "Yeah, good job. You'll do well. This and that." It's just like it has a established friendship, and then under an order, they're
right,
supposed to kill them. It's the exact same feeling here, where and also you also have to think like seeing that face paint. It's that the whole paint on their helmet was to establish loyalty to Ahsoka, and now they're ordered to kill her, and they have to comply.
right.
And it's heartbreaking, most of it. I mean, like, I know I said I didn't care about the other clone troopers. I just don't care about like a singular one, but like if as them as a whole, it's just heartbreaking to see that they're forced to hunt down and kill someone that they were friends with and loyal to, that they were willing to split off their entire faction to help her with her endeavor on Mandalore. And it's
Right.
just, and even like they broke a whole like treaty and all that, and just did a lot for her. Now they're just supposed to kill her. It's heartbreaking, and to say the slightest.
It is every time I watch episode three too. I'll just hear like the execute order 66, and I'm like, no, not again. It's like my fifth time watching the movie, and I'm like, maybe I should stop watching this movie.
It gives you depression. It really does.
It
It's
does.
so
I saw this
sad.
clip. I saw this funny clip. Some grandfather, like in the year like 2040 or something, is like with his grandkid, and he's like his grandchild's watching episode three of Star Wars, and he's like music, and he hears it, and he just starts breaking down crying, and
Jeez.
or he knows what's about to come, and then the grandchild's like, what's wrong? And then he's just like, you'll see. And I'm like,
You'll
no,
soon
that's gonna be
see.
me.
Uh,
I wanted to point out something when so you see the Chancellor's face in like the entire series, right?
yeah,
It's pretty much the same. So in episode 3, you see in the hologram that you can see like a little bit of his chin and his mouth,
right.
and you can see that it's like a little bit wrinkled because he I guess that was from his own lightning hitting him back from when Mace Windu reflected it or
Yeah,
deflected it. Is that? Yeah. So, um, well, and of course that's also because I read that the dark side of the Force also deteriorates whoever wields that side of the Force over time. Um, um, when we saw it in this episode, he didn't really look like he had changed. You know what I mean? Especially
right.
from times when we did see him hooded and we could see his chin and his mouth in the series, not like in the movies. I thought that was a little weird. I don't know if they're gonna like make him look any different.
I don't know. I think that's the only time
'Cause-
we'll see him ever again in
oh,
terms of the Clone
do we see
Wars.
him in Rebels at all?
I don't think so. I don't remember any scene. Like I haven't watched Rebels, but I don't remember any scene that like had him in it. To be honest with you, but yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. They only showed like a short clip of him, so I feel like they wouldn't cheap out on redoing his character model to do that scene, but at the same time, I don't know. Depends on where their budget is.
Yeah, I mean they've already spent so much on the make it look like a movie.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the cinema is definitely different and better in my opinion. Um, and it definitely goes with these last 4 episodes.
it really
Um,
does.
I think it's
These
fitting.
last 4 episodes can be compiled into a movie. They really
Oh, it
can
really
be.
can. That's right,
It's
because they're all like one was like 30 minutes, one was like 27, one was 26 minutes. So yeah,
And let's talk about the OG style Clone Wars. Now, like we've seen, like what separated Clone Wars from the rest of the kids' TV shows is that you saw stuff that you didn't think you would see.
yeah,
Because like there were
yeah.
scenes in the Clone Wars that was like Savage stabbed a Jedi with his own horns, and like one dude got like eaten by the shark person, and you saw like stuff you didn't
Oh
think.
man, that was brutal. I remember that.
Yeah, that was brutal. There was actually blood in that scene,
Yeah,
and it was
that's
just
the most
like,
that they've ever gone. I feel like.
yeah, that is. They usually censor that, which honestly, like, I get censoring the blood. You know what I mean? Like not seeing,
Yeah,
but Maul, dude, he straight up like freaking. He played dodgeball with them. Like crashing walls into
right,
them and everything. He decapitated two of them with a freaking wall. Like
right.
with a lightsaber, you're kind of desensitized. Like, yeah, okay, he did it with a lightsaber, and categorizes, or what's that word?
Gotta uh, polarize.
Cauterize. Yeah, I made myself look like a total idiot. They cauterize the wound so it
I
doesn't
had to
bleed
think
at
about it.
all.
Right.
So we're kind of desensitized as Star Wars fans to see someone get beheaded by a lightsaber, but a freaking like piece of a wall. That's gotta be that just woke you up again. And once they were trying to escape
Yeah.
from him, he pulled for whatever reason, started pulling the one clone trooper back, and they chopped off his arm with the blast door. I'm like,
With the blaster.
okay, that's
Okay.
that's interesting.
That's. I think he was just doing it just to have fun because it's so good to tell him to go raise havoc,
Oh
like
yeah,
he always does. So he was just doing what he was told. Do
that's
you
the other thing.
think they're gonna meet up?
I don't know why she
Sorry,
would.
say your thing.
I don't know why she would just like release him and not, because like if she were like team up with him, then she could be like, yeah, don't be lethal towards the stormtroopers. You know what I mean? But because that's, I mean, clone troopers, whichever one they are right now. It depends on
Yeah,
what you think. but because she doesn't want to kill them. Yeah, I mean the only person.
She killed a good many though, but
I
I
don't
mean,
think.
in the end,
I
she
don't
really
think
didn't
she
have a
did.
choice.
I don't think she
No, no,
did.
no. They got she. I saw her deflect the blasts and end up,
Oh,
deflecting them
I
back
ain't
at them,
noticed
and then
that.
they got shot. Whether or not they're actually dead, I don't know, because some of them have gotten shot before and survived.
Yeah.
But
Either way, I don't think she
I was
wants
gonna.
to. She doesn't want to hurt them. Especially with
No,
that
definitely
with
not.
that last scene, she definitely did. I don't think she hurt any of them. It was Rex who shot them.
Yeah, Rex definitely killed like two of them. I was like, oh yeah, that surgery was really quick, and
It really was.
I'm like,
I don't know
okay,
what happened. I think it may have just. I don't think there was a surgery. I think it just like deactivated for like a second when she
no, he
started.
had
She
something on
did that
his
Rogue One
he
stuff.
he had something on the left of his head.
Oh,
There,
oh, he
no, I'm sorry,
did. He did.
there was something on the left of his head. Yeah,
Yeah.
or no,
Either
the
way,
right side of his head.
that surgery
It
was
was,
really fast.
yeah, it was really fast. I was gonna ask, do you think they're gonna meet up again, like before?
Maul and
I
Ahsoka?
mean, obviously, right? Yeah, and Rex, because
I
now
don't know, to
Rex
be
and
honest with you.
Ahsoka are a team now. I mean, they got to get off of that somehow, right? Either that or they just tie up all the remaining clones or do something. I don't know.
I don't know what they would do. I feel like Ahsoka would want
Either that
to
or
see try to like sway Anakin back,
save
but
as
at the
many as
same
she could.
time, I don't think she's gonna see Anakin. Um, they could just take. I don't know. I don't know because she could be just presumed dead. Um,
Right.
like Rex and like everyone on that ship could just be presumed dead at a point, and I'm just trying to figure out how that would happen. You know, like would the ship
Yeah.
like crash somewhere? Are they gonna take the ship somewhere else, or are they gonna like tie them all up and then do the surgery then? Um, but then
See,
again,
I don't think I don't think they're gonna be able to save any more clones. Um, I think Maul might just go on a killing rampage, but honestly, um, you got to
perhaps.
remember it wasn't just Rex that got his inhibitor chip taken out. It was also Wolf, Commander Wolf, and
Yes.
another commander that I don't know too well. Um, it wasn't Cody. I don't know who it was though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I can't remember who
Yeah, it
exactly
wasn't
that
Cody, was
was,
it?
but I know that. No, it wasn't Cody. Cody.
Because even though that Cody tried to kill Obi-Wan, he still could have gotten the ship taken out. You
Which
know?
that's the yeah he could have, but I feel like Cody, as I've explained in a past episode, I think Cody has a certain devotion to the Chancellor. Like he did not hesitate whatsoever to shoot down Kenobi. He had no like he had no hesitation as opposed to what Rex had, and that was good seeing both of those reactions, a loyal soldier and a loyal friend. You see
Right.
Cody turn on his friend without any hesitation whatsoever, ordering a a cannon to be shot at him, and then you see Rex just like telling his own men to stand down so he could do it. Which honestly, I think deep down he was trying to save Ahsoka because he was struggling
Yeah. Yeah.
with it. He was
I think
trying to
he
buy
did
her
that
some
so that
time.
he could. Yeah, I think he did that so that he or to go look up Fives' records.
Right. So yeah, so it's good to see both of those reactions. But with Cody, I feel like he had a deeper connection with the Chancellor because, like, I may be reading too much into it, but when the Chancellor called him, he said the time has come. I feel like
Yeah. He
Cody
also. Yeah. He said
somewhere.
Commander.
Yeah, he
The time
addressed
has
him
come for Commander
directly.
Cody.
He addressed him
Right.
directly and said the time has come. So I feel like Commander Cody had some understanding what was to happen. So I could
We
be
may
wrong.
see.
I could I
We may
could be
see in the next
reading
episode.
I could be reading too much into it, but and also you got to think the chancellor didn't call him by his number; he called him by his name. You know,
Right.
because like they don't have names; they
Whereas
only
with
have
Rex,
numbers. Their names
right.
are
Whereas
only
with
given to them through their brothers in arms.
right, and whereas where you see with Rex, he just said execute Order 66. He didn't say the time has come, Commander Rex. Um, we may see next episode, maybe. I know I've seen like theories that on Tatooine, that one commander or that one stormtrooper commander, that Obi-Wan had used the Jedi mind trick on, um, that could have been Commander Cody, but I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, it's a little bit too much of a stretch, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the same thing that I've seen or not.
I think I have, but I feel like that's a stretch because I feel like he would have recognized Kenobi. Yeah, I mean, like I
Yeah,
know it's been a
well,
while, but at the same time, I feel like he would have recognized him
yeah.
because you got to think
It'd be
about
pretty
it.
funny if
Like
that actually was him, though.
it would be, but I feel like that wasn't him.
Right.
And besides, the
We
clones
may get.
by that time are like extremely old. I don't know if they still use them in the
Uh,
Galactic Empire at that point because
well,
they had
Rebels.
acceleration on their aging.
Right. Well, you got to think it was Rebels, and then it went to episode 4. So that could have been like the very next year, maybe.
Yeah,
Depends on how old. Maybe not actually. Now that I think about it, maybe it could have been like 5 or 10 years because I think, however old Luke was when Obi-Wan was on Tatooine protecting him against Maul. However old he was then, um, I guess would give us the answer to see whether or not they were truly dead or not.
yeah. I don't know if that was. I don't know, to be honest with you. But Maul, I don't know what Maul's like. I want to know what Maul's plan is. What he plans to do, because like I know he plans to like thrive in this world.
Right.
His main
Yeah.
focus on what he was doing on Mandalore, which he's probably kicking himself in the butt now, because he could have had like a small army to himself and just kind of
Right.
you know
In the
lived
end,
there.
it kind of seemed like he really didn't care that much about it. You know?
Yeah, he didn't care about stopping Sidious. He just kind of wanted to like mess him up a little bit by killing Anakin. You know,
Yeah.
because like then again, as I've explained before, the Jedi are also his enemy. You know, and right now his main focus is to survive. So like Jedi, Sith, they're all enemies to him, but his main focus is to survive. If he could get revenge on the Jedi or Sidious, that's like a bonus, basically.
Right.
He's trying to make a place for himself in the universe, which is why he created like the Red Dawn, or yeah, is it
Uh,
called the Red Dawn or what's it called? The Crimson
yeah.
Dawn.
No, I
Crimson
think it was the
Dawn.
Crimson Dawn. Yeah, it was
I
Crimson
feel
Dawn.
very stupid right now.
I keep wanting to link that episode where he was talking about the Crimson Dawn. And wait, the Crimson Dawn was Mandalore, wasn't it?
No.
Wasn't that his small army on Mandalore? Oh, was
Well,
that something else?
no, I guess it was a Crimson Dawn, but they still existed. They used that term in Solo, where he when he showed up.
Yeah, I was about to say because
His
I
whole
keep
crime
wanting.
syndicate is called the Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, I keep wanting to reference the Crimson Dawn and Solo. I guess when when this episode's over, we're gonna finally finish our. Or I was. You said that you would join me in my Star Wars marathon.
Oh, of
I guess
course.
we'll have to figure that out when we watch. Sorry, my dog was just barking. I guess we'll have to figure that out in Solo.
He gotta work from
Um,
home.
yeah.
He gotta work from home. See, that's the
It's
thing
not.
is like I called like certain like army recruiters and stuff, and like they have to work from home, so I heard like all their children in the background just screaming and
It's
all
funny.
that, and then they're like,
It's
"Yeah, I'm
actually really
sorry
funny.
about my my children. They're screaming. We have to work from home." And they sounded so annoyed
It's
too. So
it's it's not as bad as I saw this video. This guy was on the news and he was bad mouthing his son who had just walked into the room and he said, "Get the frick out! I'm on the news!" And he got up from the chair and you could see that he had like sweatpants on, but like a suit on top and like a tie and a shirt.
yeah,
Um,
that
for like
disgusts me.
appearances.
That disgusts
Yeah,
me. If we're gonna put all full on like yeah, that's. I mean, I guess I get it. I get it, but
yeah.
still. Speaking of which, like one of our old teachers, I won't mention him by name. I don't. I could. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna plug into TikTok, but
No.
but until he sponsors. No, I'm kidding. Um,
Right.
no, I mean like anyone that we're paired up with, like Alpha scored 62, and I think that's the only like other YouTuber that we're paired up with. Like I'll give him free, promotion, but besides that, wait,
Yeah.
I was about to say his name. One of our teachers, I felt so old because he was a teacher. He's like, yeah, I gotta get dressed up to go over here and talk. Which is
I saw
he
that.
had his setup. And he uses the exact same microphone as I do for the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, I feel old now. I feel so old."
That's funny.
My old math teacher uses the same microphone as I do. Like
That's funny.
so but yeah, back to the who do you think who do you think is cutting through the door? Do you think it's Maul or do you think it's the clones?
I had my I was thinking that it was Maul. Um, but I feel like they're gonna cut through the door first, and then he's gonna come out of nowhere because you saw that it was sparks on both sides, not just one side.
Yeah.
So I feel
I
like
had
it
that
might
vision of
be
Maul just like with dual sabers. That's why I
yeah,
asked.
but like he doesn't have that anymore right now. So
Yeah. I'm not
um,
saying dual sabers. I'm not saying for the audience being like, yeah, you couldn't cut on either side with a double saber. I mean with like two separate sabers like Ahsoka has.
some of them you
And he
can with in the Jedi Fallen Order you had Cal had one that could almost like Ventress's sabers, where you can just put them together and then take them off at any time you want.
right. Ventress's like update like on Battlefront 2, and I'm not saying new Battlefront 2. I'm saying old Battlefront 2 because apparently there was like they added Kit Fisto and Ventress into the old Battlefront 2.
Oh, really? Wait,
And
when?
like
Recently?
probably way back, but I didn't know that. So I guess cuz like I got it for the PlayStation 2 on disc and then when I bought it on the Xbox,
Same?
it was there was a lot more stuff. Well, not a lot more stuff. There was a few more things on it, and I played Heroes versus Villains. And Heroes versus Villains isn't limited to Mos Eisley anymore. They have like a whole lot other maps that
Oh,
you can
that's
do
nice.
for Heroes versus Villains. Actually, is it called Heroes versus Villains? I
It's
can't
Heroes
remember.
versus Villains, yeah.
Um, but they added Kit Fisto into it. Kit Fisto's fighting style I don't like at all. But if that's you, that's you. And then they added
What's
Ventress,
his
and
fighting style? We,
Ventress, I can't really remember. I like.
we talk about Clone Wars,
Oh no, I'm
Kit
talking about.
Fisto, or like episode 2 Kit Fisto. 'Cause I remember we were watching episode 2 at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, I hate episode 2 Kit Fisto.
I hate movie Kit
Episode
Fisto.
2 Kit
Movie
Fisto.
Kit Fisto
Movie,
is horrible,
yeah, movie
bro.
Kit Fisto could go die in a bucket
Well,
because
he
he looks
did.
horrible.
He kind of did.
Oh,
He kind of did die, and he also died in this
too
episode.
soon.
Which I like to point out.
Actually, he really did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He literally
Oh
died
Lord,
5 minutes ago. The man's dead, and you're already saying he
he's
could
actually
die.
one of my favorite characters.
But like
That's a shame.
him in the movie was just, or the movies were just they weren't. But
They weren't good.
him in um the game, the old game, I just didn't like his fighting style. It just seemed like slow and just like stronger attacks, I guess. I like the
Right.
when I'm playing as a Jedi, I like to be like fast, and I guess his
And
fighting
agile.
style
Right.
is like General Grievous's like General Grievous's fight style in there, because General Grievous in there is kind of slow and really powerful.
Does he have four sabers or just two?
He has two, but if you have a combo, he'll take out four. I think like in
Oh, okay,
like
that's cool.
he goes through like slashing, and then once you like slash so many times, he'll like take out four. It's like an animation combo basically. But honestly, I
Right.
don't mind slow and everything when it comes to like RPG games like Final Fantasy or something, because I play as tank on Final Fantasy 14. But when it comes to a play style or a playing field like the Clone, not the Clone Wars, Star Wars Battlefront 2, I wanted to be like fast and agile, while also like the Jedi are
Yeah, I
extremely
understand.
strong, especially against regular soldiers. Um,
Right. What was I about to say? I remember being on Most. Is it pronounced Most Eisley?
Mos Eisley, yeah.
Okay, I can never pronounce it. I knew what we're talking about, but Mos Eisley. I remember playing with Anthony on the Battlefront 2 on the PSP during school
I remember
in
when Anthony used
elementary.
to play that.
Yeah,
That was
those
something.
were the good old days. I would get on top of a dome because I think there was like some kind of cheat or something that you could get on top of a dome, and me and him would get up on there. And he was always on the enemy team, obviously. So me and him would just get up there and have a duel. Oh, good old days. Good old days.
But
Um,
Ventress in there, she was very agile, but her lightsabers were like nunchucks. They're really called like nunchuck
really?
lightsabers.
That's
Yeah, it
kind
was.
of disgusting. I'll be
It
honest with you.
is it is kind of disgusting. I mean, like they were good. Like you go in there, you press
Well,
RT, you mess things up, bro. But at the same time, just
I'm
thinking
pretty
about like
sure.
fighting with a nunchuck lightsaber, like that's just.
I'm pretty sure nunchuck lightsabers exist. I'm
Oh,
pretty
they
sure.
definitely.
I'm
I
pretty
they definitely do.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like that idea. I mean, I guess it's creative. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like I just don't know how one would control that. While in a lightsaber duel. You know.
Right.
I don't know. That's just me. That's just me.
What else happened this episode? I feel okay, Mandalore. Do you think did we ever go back to Mandalore in the Rebels
I
or
don't
no?
think
Because I
so.
was
There was a Mandalorian girl with them, but I don't know what
right,
happened. And you also have to think in Mandalore, in the Mandalorian, they're kind of like in hiding. So I feel like the Empire kind of like oppressed them, like they did with like almost every other person in the galaxy. Kind of like everyone was
right,
oppressed. There was several races that were put into slavery, like the Wookiees. But
right.
And you gotta think about it, it would make sense for them to go after Mandalore, because Mandalore, their whole religion and culture is
Is
based
guns.
around fighting. Yeah, they're basically the
Right.
America of the galaxy. Like,
Right. They're a pretty big military too in the
yeah,
Star
they
Wars
are. They,
universe.
they literally they literally are kind of like the Vikings. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I just compared them to America, but let's
They're really
forget that
skilled
for a
too.
second.
Yeah, they're
Their
really
their
good at
whole
fighting.
their whole religion is based around fighting. And it's just and getting glory for the fighting. So I feel like the Empire, since the Empire is already there and they're kind of, they're just like policing the people. once the Order 66 comes up and they're, trying to take over the entire galaxy, they're going to be like, yeah, you guys are under our rule now. The treaty has been broken. It's whatever now.
Right.
So I feel like they took control over Mandalore, maybe oppressed most of their people, and I guess their people kind of went into hiding. I don't know if they would do mass genocide on Mandalore, but it's possible for them to do that. Because, like I said,
Yeah,
they're of a warrior culture. You know,
right. The whole thing with the Mandalorian show, I can't. I remember you said that you've always seen a couple episodes, right? Or have you finished it?
I went up to episode 6 and then stopped, but I plan on finishing
I
it.
think there's only two more episodes. Is it
Yeah,
eight
there is.
episodes? Okay,
Yeah, there's
that's
only
what I
8
thought.
episodes in the entire thing.
Um, you only have two more episodes. I think it'd be worth a finish, unless you want to like watch it with me when we're doing our marathon.
Yeah, I could do that, but we'll discuss it over time because I
Yeah.
want to do that one thing.
Yeah. What else? What else? I was trying to see. The reason why I asked if we went back to it in Rebels was because I don't know. It almost sounds like like who's going to be the new leader, and um, I can't remember. Did that one guy die? The one, what was he? He was like the. Here I am. I'm gonna have to go back to the episode. Um,
You
help
mean
me
you
out
mean
here.
you
Throw
mean
me a
Maul's
bone.
right hand man?
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't die. He was just captured.
Okay. See.
Yeah, he's still good.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if because she was saying something about how she doesn't really want to rule, how she'd rather just be like military, like she is right now.
Yeah,
Um, I'm wondering if maybe she does end up becoming military, or not military. I'm sorry, ruler or something, because technically it would be fall to her because she is Satine's sister.
right.
So it would only make sense, and I don't think anyone would be opposed to that. Um,
Except for the
so
Mandalorians that got defeated.
of course, and I think is that wouldn't be Death Watch. No, that would just be yeah, that wouldn't be
Crimson
Death Watch. That
Dawn,
would
like
just
pre
be
Crimson Dawn.
yeah, yeah.
But we'll see in these next in this last episode. We'll definitely see Maul escape to start his or to further his criminal career,
Hopefully,
and
hopefully.
build his enterprise. And we'll probably see Ahsoka, like you said, exile herself. But I don't think it's like considered exile. I feel like she'll seek out. I feel like she would have seeked out Anakin, but at the same time, she may have felt him. Maybe during the battle of Revenge of the Sith, like the Battle of Mustafar, I feel like the piece, like the final piece of Anakin died. Like as soon as like he turned on Padme, which he felt like she turned on him. But either way, whose ever terms you're going by here, I feel like he probably died right then and there. You know,
Right.
or perhaps maybe he died at the end once he found out that Padme was dead, because he did ask, is Padme safe? Either way, she could have
Right.
felt Anakin die. Like kind of like how kind of how Obi-Wan portrayed it, that Vader killed him.
Yeah.
So she could feel it that way and then rule him off as dead. And of course she'll mourn and everything, but that gives her a reason not to pursue him. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens there. We'll see if she pursues him or if she pursues a greater council, like maybe trying to find Master Yoda. Because I feel like
You think so?
Out of all the Jedi, I feel like she would trust Yoda more.
Well, Yoda's the head of the Jedi Council. So in the end, it was his decision ultimately to kick out Ahsoka. You know,
Yeah, it was. But when it comes to a crisis like this, I feel like she should have to turn to somebody and try to figure out what exactly is going on. And plus,
right?
will we see the distress signal? Well, not the distress signal, the callback signal from the temple.
I'm thinking we might think about it because it hasn't happened yet. It most likely it'll definitely be next episode. Whether or not she chooses to go to that, I don't know.
Maybe she
Here's what
will
I'm
go to
thinking might
that and
happen.
she'll meet Obi-Wan and Yoda right then and there, because there has
Yeah,
been some crossovers from episode 3 to now that we haven't seen in episode 3, because of course those moments didn't exist in episode 3 originally, but they're able to write them in through these little like holes that they left in episode 3. And
right,
there's a huge like hole there with Obi-Wan and Yoda going through the temple. They only showed like two scenes from there. One scene was them fighting through the entrance, and the other scene was them figuring out who did everything. So they could
right.
have
Here's
there's so much room to put Ahsoka in there in that one particular time in episode 3. But go on, I'm sorry, I interrupted you
here's
twice now.
no, you're all good. It's all good. Here's what I'm thinking might happen. Um, they're on the ship. They're trying to get to the control panel to maybe contact some other Jedi and to warn them before, they're trying to grab Hope, seeing if they can, you know, forewarn somebody before they end up getting killed. Obviously, it goes sour. Maybe they get in contact with Obi-Wan, or Obi-Wan contacts. What happened when he fell into the pool? Did yeah, he went back to the ship and left Utapau, didn't he?
Yeah,
Um,
he left Utapau on Grievous's ship, and then received transmission from Senator Organa,
right.
and
And
Organa
then,
found Yoda after Yoda escaped from Kashyyyk. So from there, like after Order 66, the next thing that happened was the meeting between Organa, Obi-Wan, and Yoda, and they were getting a signal from the Jedi Temple that like to come back. There was some misunderstanding or some BS like that, and they were probably going to the temple to say, to basically shut it down, so that because it was a
right.
trap
So I'm
basically. So
right.
Ahsoka could, and you got to think this ship is already set course for Coruscant and the Jedi Temple, because that's where they're originally going, was to bring Maul to the Jedi Council.
Right. So I'm thinking maybe they'll try and contact Obi-Wan and maybe Master Yoda, and then I'm thinking they'll probably like formulate a plan, and then they end up going to the Jedi Temple, maybe with Maul. Maybe Maul takes an escape pod, but I think they already destroyed all the escape pods.
Yeah, they
So,
destroyed the escape pods. So I don't know what Maul is going to do. Maybe Maul will come in contact with his old pilot, whoever that is, and he'll say, "Here's the new extraction point. Get me
that's
off
true.
this
Maybe we'll
thing."
finally get to see who that is.
Perhaps.
Um,
And I had one
I had,
thought in mind, but when I actually thought
yeah.
about it more, it seemed kind of dumb. At first, I was like, maybe that's Juno Eclipse. Like maybe they're gonna put,
Oh,
but no, it
you're
can't be.
reaching.
It,
I
I'm
like that
reaching.
idea.
I'm
You're
reaching a lot,
reaching.
but honestly, I don't think that's possible, because the force
They're
the
not in the
force
same
unleashed.
universe.
The force
No.
unleashed is, well, everyone's been begging it to be the same universe, but the force
Right.
unleashed happened a lot closer to episode 4 than I had realized, because given that DLC where you actually like fought Luke on Hoth, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's weird. So it's, and I feel like, and
It's
there's,
just
I
like a
think
little
there's
bit of
20
fun
years
for
between
people.
3 and 4. So
Is there?
we're looking at, and I think Juno was probably like, we'll say at the most Juno was 30 years old. We'll say the very most. Um, and you do see young star pilots, but I just highly doubt that that could be Juno Eclipse. But if it were Juno Eclipse, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, the Force Awakens is canon now. No, not the Force Awakens. The Force Unleashed is canon now. That'd be pretty solid. But I don't think
That'd be
so.
pretty solid. Obviously, DLC is, a
Oh,
no.
definitely, yeah, definitely not, valid, but
But
still.
you gotta think. First, now we're going to the games now, which is fine. If it was canon, I think they would only be able to make the characters canon, not like
The entire
anything.
story.
Right, because if you remember from the first one, I think you had the ability, or was it the second one? No, it was the first one. The first one, I think you had the ability to. No, no, it could still go together because I think
Yeah,
I
it
never
depends on
finished
what
the
which
first one. I finished
ending.
the second one.
It depends on which ending you choose, because like there's two choices you make. There's either you fight Sidious or you fight Darth Vader, and if
Vader.
you
Right,
fight Vader, you kill Vader. But if you fight
right.
Sidious, your character dies, and then the rest of the characters they go off to create the rebellion.
That
You
could
know.
work, and then where you kill Vader, that could just be labeled as freaking canon or some, or not canon, Legends.
Yeah.
They have the power to do that, so
It
it's not
depends. They
like
would have to tweak the
it's
story a little
impossible.
bit so that plot holes don't exist. But if they
Right.
if
It's
they if they did make Juno Eclipse canon and then made some of the game canon, and it was like, yeah, we got Star Killer. We're gonna make like a separate series on that. That would be pretty amazing.
I
Like
just thought
I feel like
we
that's
were supposed to
something.
get a third one.
Oh really?
We were supposed to get a third game, but then the company had shut down,
We were supposed
I
to get a
think for
third
whatever
Battlefront, bro,
reason.
and that was disappointing
We
that we
were,
didn't get that. That's the one thing I want in this life is a
but
third Battlefront.
right. We were supposed to get a third uh Force Unleashed, which now that I'm thinking about it, the story would be a little interesting because, in the end you capture Vader or you kill him.
Right.
I chose to capture him. I just let the timer run out and see which one it picked, honestly. Um, so in a way, technically, we if they do decide that hypothetically, let's say hypothetically, they Juno and Starkiller are real, are now canon and now exist in the universe. Um, there's a possibility that they might try to restart and start remaking the third game. That would be like the best thing ever if let's just say like hypothetically if that were to happen. I
Yeah.
feel like maybe they would try and make a third game.
He just had a nightmare of an idea.
What?
What if that pilot was Rafa or Tracer?
Oh,
As we've expressed before, we
we'd have
didn't
to go
like those
back.
characters.
We'd have to go back and like listen to that little clip, which
See
I'm
if it's
gonna
the
listen
same
to right
voice
now.
actor. Oh man, dude, that would be
We
something.
we
I
could.
mean, I guess that would make
I don't.
sense to be honest with you. Like, I don't want it to be. Trust me, I don't like those characters, but it would make sense because they're kind of criminals. You know?
Right.
I don't
Shoot,
know.
I'm trying to find that little. I'm trying to find the clip right now.
I don't
Um,
know.
trying to find it.
You
I think
type
I found
in
it.
you can type in the comments who do you want it to be, Rafa Tracer or Juno Eclipse?
I feel like everyone
We'd probably go for Juno Eclipse,
would.
like the real
Yeah, would
OGs.
definitely go.
The real OGs would
I
do Juno
remember.
Eclipse, but and I'm not
Right.
saying you're not a real OG if you're doing Rafa. If you like Rafa and Tracer, well, I'm not blaming you for it. I just as a writer,
We don't like
I
them.
don't like it. We don't like them. So I guess you're
I'm
looking
actually
up
watching
that
the clip right
clip
now.
now. We're gonna get
Yeah, I've got it
copyrighted
turned
if
on my
you
TV. Um,
you put on your whole TV, bro.
could
I
you hear
figured
it?
you were just yeah. I
My
can
bad.
hear it. I can hear it. I thought you were like going through your phone and finding it, and you just put on your giant
No,
TV.
sorry. Gotta go big or go home, buddy.
Go big or go home.
84 inches. I'm joking. This the last TV was 84 inches. This
I
one's
was
like,
about to say that thing's not 84. I say 65. I've seen that thing.
wait, I'm listening to it. Okay, Lord Maul, we must have we must shit.
Yeah, this is
Um,
professional.
yeah, Lord Maul, we must depart immediately. Now, it sounds kind of deep. I don't remember
I
what
think
she
Rafa
sounded like
was
in the
kind of
game.
deep.
Yeah, a little bit, but this girl actually sounds professional, and Rafa was like not professional.
Oh,
You know, she would
here's
have said like something like, "Hey, we gotta go now." You know,
yeah. I
what were
they
you gonna
could have
say?
changed over the years, but still.
Maybe. What were you
You
about to say?
know that whole fight scene with Ahsoka and Maul. You know they brought back Ray Park for that, right? The original guy
Wait,
who played Maul.
yeah, you
Yeah,
told me that.
they motioned oh, did I mention that last episode?
Yeah, you did.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm a broken record
no, no,
apparently.
you're good.
But
It's
they
always good to
motion
hear good.
they
It's
motion
always good to hear
captured him.
good stuff. They wait. What do you mean they motion captured him? What are you talking about?
So like I don't think he voice
Oh,
acted him.
motion capture. Oh,
Yeah,
with
they well, I mean like he played him again in Solo. The little clip of him in Solo was Ray Park, the original guy who played him in episode 1. But
oh,
in
okay, not the voice actor, but
I
the
don't think he voice
actual.
acts him at all. He did motion capture for that whole fight scene with whoever motion captured as
Yes,
Ahsoka.
I was about to say because I was thinking the same thing.
Because you did mention
Or no,
last or what our first episode. No, it wasn't our first episode. The fight scene happened last episode. You
yeah,
did mention
I
last
was
episode that
saying
his fighting style seemed a lot like from episode 1, and
yes.
he really was from episode 1 because they brought back the original guy and motion captured himself in that fight scene.
That makes me happy, actually. Because with him, like, kind of just taking his time with it, and like his stances and his footing, it definitely was very familiar. I was like, wait a minute, something's familiar.
I've seen this
That makes me
before.
happy. You're right. I wonder, because Ray Park, they gave him some voice lines,
Well, he
unless they
originally was
gave
supposed to
lines
be
to somebody
the
else.
stunt guy. He was originally just supposed to be the stunt guy for Maul, and someone else was supposed to play Maul. But then they just reduced Maul's lines to a bare minimum, and then just
Right,
put Ray Park as the main character. I mean, the main actor for him.
right.
And
So
he only had like 2 lines in the entire thing. One of them was "Finally, we'll have our
we will
revenge,"
finally have a revenge.
or and then there's another line like right before that they'll like come out of the shadows and all that weird
We
edgy
will
middle school
finally be able to
stuff.
come out of the shadows or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me
Oh man.
wrong. Maul is my favorite Sith Lord out of all of them. I'm gonna be honest with
Right.
you, but he was
Yeah,
kind of an
he's
edgy
mine
middle
too.
schooler,
Yeah.
and he kind of always is an edgy middle schooler from time to
I thought he
time.
was always. I thought he was always cool in episode 1 when I saw it with my dad,
He,
and then
whew.
now that I'm watching him in the show, I really liked him more. You know, in this when they brought him back from the dead, basically. It's like, oh, he survived that fall, and he survived getting cut in half.
I remember seeing because like I remember always loving Darth Maul, and they killed him off way too early, and people were like, yeah, you killed him off way too early. Then someone somewhere was just like, yeah, let's slap robot legs on him. He's fine. And I thought it
Someone
was only
actually
in like
said
the
that.
comics. No, no, I mean like that's basically what they did. It was just like, okay, I know he's cut in half
Yeah.
and all, but we'll just throw some Darth Vader crap on him.
It,
It's fine.
y-
He doesn't even
no,
have a like system to like expel anything that he's ate or drank
Right.
anymore.
I
But
don't think
still,
he freaking eats.
I don't think he does
I
either.
was
I
look.
don't think he might survive on pure hatred, which is exactly what he did. That's
He
exactly what he
did
did.
actually.
Is
How many
survive
years
on
was it?
pure
Like
hatred.
7?
I have
Was it
no
like 7?
idea, to be
No,
honest with you.
I feel like it wasn't that long because Obi-Wan's not that old. And then from Revenge of the Sith to Episode 4, A New Hope was like what 20 years I think, or like 16 years. So however old he is in A New Hope, uh, I'm I'm going too much into it.
Either way,
Yeah, I don't think he was that old because Obi-Wan wasn't that old either. I don't think it was that many years from Episode 1 to the Clone Wars when they brought him back. I'd have to look that up.
yeah. Either way, he's a survivor either way, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, seeing him, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, we're gonna put him in the Clone Wars now." Once in like Savage Opress was in there because I really like Savage Opress. It just gave me a Darth Maul vibe, but Savage just didn't
right.
wasn't Maul. You know, he was cool.
No, he wasn't. He was
He
cool though.
he was badass and everything, but he wasn't Maul. You know,
Right.
and then all of a sudden they were like, "Yeah, go find your brother on this planet here full of trash," and then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute," and Maul showed up like, "Oh, okay, all right, now we're cooking with grease."
uh, right. Uh, I remember as a kid watching that because I think I mentioned before I watched the Clone Wars as a kid, and then I recently last year um got back into it and then finally finished it all the way through because I stopped at like season 5, and then like on Cartoon Network when it would air I would see like a few episodes here and there, but then I just stopped for some reason. I got out of Star Wars. And then um one day I'm just like, you know what? I feel like doing a Star Wars marathon. And then I'm watching it. I'm in the middle of watching season 4 of the Clone Wars, and then I hear, oh, they're coming out with a new season 7, and I'm like, oh crap, good for me. But it's like the middle of November, and it doesn't come out to February, and then I finished that. I finished the show in like the 1st of December, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Now I gotta wait until February. So,
Yeah, they
but
didn't
it is what
drop
it
everything
is.
on
It was,
February. They decided to release it weekly, which is a good move,
which
but at the
isn't a
same
bad
time,
idea,
I'm like, bro, I need to see everything now. But knowing that this
right?
thing's going to come out in a few days rather than 7 days, I'm kind of content, you know.
Yeah, so am I.
And I'm wondering if this thing's going to be a half hour or an hour long,
Ooh,
you know.
yeah, because I think we were contemplating that whether the last episode would be in like an hour or not.
And they only have like
The
what
longest one was 30
2 days
minutes.
to um advertise for it, you know, because like
True.
before this episode came out, they Disney teased like, oh, Order 66 is gonna happen. Like they put it in the description of the video that they put out, like, oh, they're on their way, but Order 66 happens in the midst of their journey. So I don't know what kind of teaser that they're gonna put out for this, if there's gonna be a teaser, but they don't have much time to put it out, you know.
Right.
Which they
I feel
probably,
like
which probably isn't a bad idea. No, no, sorry, not a bad idea. Sorry, it probably isn't a problem because they probably already got all their teasers already aligned, from like the very
right.
beginning. But at the same time, it's just like, I just don't see them hyping it up all that much. You know.
Right. The longest episode is Old Friends Not Forgotten, the first episode of the third arc for season 7. It's 29 minutes. So that's the longest episode, I think, in every single episode of Clone Wars.
Right.
Um, it would be pretty solid to see a
Hour
hour-long
long
episode,
special.
right?
Speaking of hour long specials, we just hit 1 hour of recording. So, unless you
Nice.
want to add anything else, I think we covered almost everything. Unless you
I
want to
had a
add anything
question,
else. All right, what's your question?
but I can't remember it now. It
Oh,
had to
good,
do with the
perfect.
mall. Oh, I think I wanted to add in. I think we were thinking that that one pilot, because I feel like we might. I'm gonna go with your idea or your theory that maybe Maul will call in that ship um on the cruiser, on the Republic cruiser, to
Right.
come and pick him up. Um, I'm now looking at it. It looks like it's a Mandalorian ship, but
So you think it could be just a
I'm
random
thinking,
Mandalorian?
right, it could be.
Then again,
And
like right before that, he was just like, hey, he just told the Mandalorians to be like, yeah, good luck, go screw yourselves, bye. I don't
exactly.
know,
So
I don't know how that would play out.
exactly, it looks like a Mandalorian ship. I'm not total 100% sure though. So but I wanted to say, I think I had a theory that it was Kira from Solo.
Yeah,
But
I
then I think you
we
debunked me.
discussed. Yeah, we discussed that. I don't know if that was on the podcast or if that was off the podcast, but the reason why it wouldn't be Kira was because when we first meet Kira, she was born in Corellia with Han Solo, and they were in Corellia, like stuck there on the days of the Empire. And we know it's the days of the Empire because they already had the stormtrooper armor on. So there's
Right.
no way that that could be Kira. Unfortunately, like I want it to be Kira. Don't get me wrong. Like that'd be cool. I think she's a great character, but there's no way for it to be Kira. The most plausible ones for me right now is either Juno Eclipse, and that's a stretch, or Rafa and Tracer, which that isn't a stretch, but I don't want that to happen again. I don't want them back. They could stay in the second arc, and they can have that arc. I'm never watching that again. But
Oh, they can
still,
stay on Coruscant where they belong.
yeah, stay on Coruscant. It's about to get real.
In the slums of Coruscant.
It's about to get real in Coruscant.
It really is. It's like, oh, is the Jedi Temple having a barbecue?
Oh no! Oh
I hate
no!
myself. Oh, I hate
They
myself.
having a barbecue. You're horrible.
Too soon.
Too soon. Oh man.
2008, too soon. Uh,
Jeez. I mean 2008. That thing happened in
that's when
2005.
episode. No, that's when episode 3 came out.
Nope,
At least I'm.
2005.
Crap. Okay.
We
Well,
went over all the release dates yesterday. Oh, like,
yeah, we did, didn't we?
yeah,
No, we
it
went. We
was.
went over the release dates for the new trilogy.
No,
We
we
did.
no, we went through everything, bro. Like we were talking about the new trilogy, and I was comparing the release dates to the other trilogies, where they only had 2 years apart. And keep in mind, those 2 years, in the gaps of those years, came Rogue One and Solo. So they're pumping out a new Star Wars movie every year in that era. Um, but in the old,
That's kind of crazy when you think about it. And Rogue One actually wasn't bad
oh,
either.
Rogue One was great,
That's
and
actually
so
pretty
and so
creative.
is Solo. But the
Solo, I've
sequels,
grown to love. I
Solo
didn't like
Solo
it at
was really
first.
good. Like I was skeptical about Solo because like I was like,
Right.
this actor, are you? I'm not feeling this actor, boss. But honestly,
Right.
he could have been a little bit more cocky, but at the same time, I think he played a good Han Solo.
Yeah.
No one
I
there's
feel
no
like
one better
he.
than Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford's too
Oh
old
no, definitely
and
not.
definitely doesn't want to do
See,
it ever again to play a young Han
no, he
Solo.
hates it. he
He
hates.
hates it
He
a
hates
lot.
Star Wars almost as much as um Mark Hamill did in Episode 4. Um, Actually, that's pretty funny too. Side note: Mark Hamill knew nothing about Star Wars, but then as soon as he did Episode 4, he hated it.
And he
I
already
thought that
signed
was the
up.
funniest thing ever.
He already signed up for a
Yeah,
contract for two more movies. Which
yeah,
that's the reason why
God bless him.
they wrote Harrison Ford's character Han Solo the way they did in Episode 5 because they only had him for like contracted for two movies instead of three. Whereas
Oh, that's
if
why
he
they
didn't come back,
took him off
yeah,
early.
yeah. So like no, I'm talking about in Episode 5. The way Episode 5 ended was him being frozen in carbonite
Right.
and
Yeah, that's what
shipped
I'm
off to
talking about.
Jabba.
Yeah.
So if Harrison Ford didn't
Oh,
come
see,
back, they could have ruled
I
it
thought
off
it
as he
was
died.
earlier. That's true. I didn't know that though.
You
Actually.
didn't know that?
Um. No.
And
Actually.
the whole reason behind the Wampa attack on Luke was to like accommodate his scar because Mark Hamill got into a car accident and he had a scar on his face. So
Yeah. And then.
they implemented that
Yeah,
into
I
the
heard about
movie,
that.
which I think is
The
clever.
Wampa attack, though. Like, I can't remember what the Wampa attack
It's
was.
like an abominable snowman, but with
Ah,
horns.
yes. Yes. Yeah, in the beginning of episode,
5.
yeah, 5. Gosh, it's been so long since I've seen the original trilogy. Can't wait until I
I
can watch them
randomly
again.
watched Episode 5 the other day. Like,
See, I'm dedicated to this marathon, and I'm trying to watch them all in order.
yeah,
But I think I've covered everything that I wanted to do. Did you?
I think I covered about everything. Do you want to close
Right.
out or should I?
You probably should. I feel like we
All
should
right.
just keep you closing until maybe one day I'll learn the lines because you got it. You got it written down like on a notepad right next to you or something.
No, I don't have it written down at all. I'm just improving it every single time. But this has been the
Uh,
Chaotic Corporation podcast. We also stream on Mixer. You can follow Jordan here at mixer.com/hotpocket61. You can follow me at mixer.com slash sorry Apollo the King. And we also have a Twitter account where we'll announce whenever we're doing solo or group videos. Right now, I'm putting out a Resident Evil 3 series coming out every Tuesday and Thursday. There should be episode one's already up. Episode 2 will be out Tuesday. Jordan here, he's still trying to figure out a game. He probably did figure out a game, but I'm gonna let him say whatever he wants on that. But from there on out, just follow the Twitter account at Chaotic Corp 127 for announcements on the podcast and any other things that we do on this channel. And just have yourself a nice day.
Thanks, guys.